Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, Thursday, February 13th, 2014. Thursday, February 13th, 2014. You know what that means. Tomorrow, Valentine's Day, and a full moon. Hope you are all prepared for that. It's Metaphysical Thursday here, and we've been talking about some interesting stuff in the first hour. The concept, the notion of something called prana, which, according to the East Indian yogis, is an intelligent particle, a smaller, extremely small, which is everywhere all the time and in different concentrations in different parts of the world. And the yogis have developed physical exercises, the intention of which are to concentrate levels of prana in the body, and that can't be a bad thing. So if you've never done it before, I recommend go to my website, become an insider, reference the webinar that I did on yoga. There's a little yoga book you can get. I think it's $10. Get that yoga book and start to do those yoga exercises every day. Yoga strengthens the invisible channels in the body that the yogis say exist, called nadis, which channel the prana. So more energy, more health, more wisdom, more insight, better life, better body, better life. Happy life, happy wife. Valentine's Day is coming up, folks. Happy wife, happy life. I hope you all have made appropriate plans. Javier, my good golf buddy, I think, from California is back. He's going to tell me to keep my head down and follow through. I know. Let's go talk to him and see what's up. Javier, ¿cómo está?
Good. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day, my friend.
What's going on, Javier? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Just went through a bad time with what they diagnosed as cellulitis the hen.
Cellulitis of the hen.
So big that I had to go to the doctor real quick. I couldn't wait, so the doctor looked at it and got really jumped away from me. I haven't seen anything like it before. So anyway,
was there a cut on your hand that got infected?
No, it just got swollen. I thought it was gout. And the doctor said it was cellulitis. And she gave me naproxen, Naproxen. Yeah. It brought the swelling down.
Yeah, well.
And I think the problem is still there,
Yeah, the problem is still there. And by the way, cellulitis means inflammation in some undiscovered part of the body. It's fancy schmancy doctor talk for I have no idea what the problem is, but I just don't want to look stupid. It's a meaningless diagnosis. It's a meaningless diagnosis. So I'm sorry to hear about that. So, but look, I'm going to give you some advice about this. So, because I don't want any excuses, Javier, for you not being able to play 18 holes with me. No excuses. All right. So we got to fix this. So so it's a problem with inflammation in the soft tissue in your hand, right? So we give soft tissue support. So you need to do, what's your current body weight?
150.
All right. So I want you to do, for 21 days, I want you to do 12 EFA plus a day. 12 EFA plus a day. All right? 12 EFA plus a day. And were you listening a couple of weeks ago when I interviewed Dr. Russ and he told us about the lymphatic breathing?
No. I was
All right. So I'm going to explain to you a breathing technique that I want you to do that's going to help. So you stand upright and you take a big deep breath through your nose. The intention is to fill the top of your chest, to have the top of your chest expand, and then you blow it out through your mouth slowly. It sounds like this. You don't want to hyperventilate. You want to take long, slow, deep breaths through the nose, filling your chest up, and then blowing the air out slowly. While you're doing that, you want to be gently bouncing up and down on your feet. You don't have to jump, but you can just bounce from the balls of your feet to your heels, balls of your feet to your heels, balls of your feet to your heels. Or better, if you have one of those little trampolines, you can bounce up and down on the trampoline while you're taking the long, slow, deep breaths through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. What that does is pump your lymphatic fluid. Lymphatic system in the body is like a little shadow of your arteries and veins. But the blood in the arteries and veins is pumped by the heart. And also there's muscles in the arteries that help to pump it. It's a muscular thing. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. The lymphatic system pumps by your breathing and by your physical movement. So, when you take big, deep breaths into the top of your chest, expand the top of your chest, you start to blow it out through your mouth. You start to pump the lymphatic fluid in your body. And when you pump the lymphatic fluid in the body, it goes a long way towards helping the body to come back into a normal state. It goes a long way towards helping the immune system to work better and to helping your body get on the other side of any type of inflammatory event. But in the meantime, in addition to the Healthy Start Pack and elimination of the 10 bad foods, have you eliminated the 10 bad foods, Javier? Have you done that yet? All right. All right, good. So, do the lymphatic breathing, take the 12 EFA plus a day, and I would suspect within 14 days this should be a thing of the past.
Fantastic.
All right, so listen, you better. I'm going to take your question in a minute, but I got to tell you something. You better sit down and put something heavy on your head because your head's going to explode in a minute. Dr. Glidden learned how to putt. So you better be very, very, very careful, my friend. I'm coming for you, Javier. I'm coming for you. We're going to play 18 holes, and it's going to be awesome because I finally learned how to putt. I'd lose 18 strokes a game because I couldn't putt to save my life. I'd miss a 1-foot putt regularly. I couldn't do it because I wasn't seeing it correctly. I learned how to see the putt, and now you're going to be in trouble, buddy. You're going to be in trouble.
It'll be a great day, I'm sure.
All right, man. So listen, enough of this jibber-jabber. How can I help?
Well, I have a patient that has a hiccup problem.
Hiccups?
He had hiccups for 30 days.
Really?
Before that, it was a lot longer.
That's interesting.
But last time he had hiccups for 30 days, and it just, really aggravates him and has changed his eating habits and all that.
Yeah, okay. So give him the Healthy Digestion Pack, 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium. 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium. I want you to give him the original Healthy Digestion Pack, not the Healthy Digestion Pack 2.0. I want you to give him the original one with the liquid calcium. 1 Healthy Digestion Pack and 1 bottle of liquid calcium. I want you to have him start using salt liberally and eliminate the 10 bad foods. Most of the time, this is caused by a spasm in the stomach. And why is the stomach spasming? Because things just aren't right there. The most common cause of this condition, from my point of view, is a bad relationship between stomach acid and peristaltic activity in the body, and everything is kind of connected down there. And when one switch gets overflipped, you have hiccups all of the time because your body doesn't have the chemicals that it needs in order for the kill switch. It doesn't have the chemicals that it needs to turn that off. So give him the Healthy Digestion Pack, 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium. Have him salt his food so that it tastes good, and eliminate the 10 bad foods. Now, I got to tell you something, man. This breathing technique is a big deal. I just learned about it a couple weeks ago. It's the real deal. It's a big deal. I'm recommending everybody do it. So I'm going to recommend that he does it as well. But, that's kind of a separate and distinct thing from the medical nutrition. But, why not do it? It's just a breathing technique, and what the hell, that's free, right?
Yeah, no, the extra liquid, bottle liquid calcium is the same as the same that comes from the old pack of the healthy stuff pack, right?
Yeah, so that's what I want them to get, because I'm getting reports in the chat room that people who've been taking the powdered calcium are developing calcium deficiency symptoms.
Wow.
So I don't think, it's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. And I don't have enough data I shouldn't even be saying this out loud, but I'm going to because I don't care. I don't think that the powdered calcium is as absorbable by the body as liquid calcium is. I'm open to the fact that I'm wrong. Time will tell. But I've had a number of people taking the powdered stuff, and they get calcium deficiency symptoms, and they switch to the liquid, and it goes away. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's what I would do. I would do the original Healthy Start Pack with the liquid calcium, and then one extra bottle. And it's called, by the way, Beyond Osteo FX. Beyond Osteo FX. Have salt as food. Life is good, Javier. And you better keep your head down and follow through, buddy.
You better release late.
Yeah, all right. Got to develop that lag, man. You got to develop that lag. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not a golfer, you have no idea what we're talking about, and I apologize in advance. Javier, we're up against the hard break, man. I got to let you go. It's always a pleasure. Live long and prosper, my friend, and keep up the good work. Thursday, February 13th, 2014, folks. Visit the website, fireyourmdnow.com. Become a Dr. Glidden Insider, and guess what? You'll have immediate access to 100 hours of archived health information. Tonight, worldwide webinar for insiders and their guests, 8 o'clock Central Time. Be there, or you know the rest. Hey, everybody. Worldwide webinar tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. We did a worldwide webinar Tuesday night, had 97 people in attendance. We had people from Cyprus. We had people from Hong Kong. We had people from Hawaii. We had people from all over Canada, all over the United States, people from Australia, people from London, people from Bangkok. It's a fantastic experience. It's a worldwide community of like-minded individuals who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke, who are taking a step or two or three on their own behalves to lift up their friends, family members, church members, community members into the light of science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical foundation, medical nutrition, health recovery protocols. And not a bad idea. It's an excellent group of people, fantastic group of people to be, in the company of. Really, really, really great, awesome people from all around the world. You don't know what you're missing. For Dr. Glidden Insiders and their guests only, to become an insider, easy. Visit my website and purchase a subscription to my online health subscription series, which you get which we call Become a Dr. Glidden Insider. You get access to 5 hours of live worldwide webinars a week. We do one every day. 5 hours of worldwide webinars a week. How about that? Plus 10, 15, 20 hours by now of archived webinars. So you're dealing with an autoimmune disease? I've got a webinar about that. You're dealing with high blood pressure? I've got a webinar about that. Dealing with fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, infertility? I've got a webinar about those things. And it's not straight normal stuff. It's those illnesses from the holistic point of view, which is the correct point of view, which is the authentic and true point of view, which is why we get results. Let's go to Utah now. Talk to Lee. Hey, Lee, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Good afternoon.
What's happening, Lee? What part of the great state of Utah are you in?
I'm on the island of Stansbury out here west of the mountain Ochre Mountains west of Salt Lake on the way to Reno.
Oh, very nice. I don't think I've been there yet. I've been all over Utah. I've lectured all over Utah for longevity. I don't think I've been in that little town, though.
Well, it's just about 7 miles from Tooele.
Uh-huh.
But it's a great place to live if you want to live up north. But I'd rather be where there's some sun. I've just come back last September from down in St. George, where I was building houses after my wife for 48 years decided to go to a better place. But my question for you has become multiple. I was listening to your program last night this morning, about 2 o'clock, about muscular dystrophy. Mm-hmm. I have a doctor that I'm going to go meet with today at 4:40. His wife, I'm not sure whether she has muscular dystrophy or multiple sclerosis, but I wanted to try and find out what the difference was between those two.
Well, there's a great deal of difference. Multiple sclerosis is an illness of the central nervous system, and it's a part of the brain and the spinal cord. I think with multiple sclerosis, it's exclusive to the brain. There are parts of the brain that have developed sclerotic lesions, and depending on which part of the brain is affected, you'll get different neurological symptoms, right? Muscular dystrophy happens from birth. You can get multiple sclerosis at any moment in time. But muscular dystrophy is baked into the cake. You get it from birth. And Dr. Wallach proved in the 70s that muscular dystrophy and cystic fibrosis are caused by nutrient deficiencies which make chromosomes break. So when the mother doesn't have enough nutrition in her blood, chromosomes break. And when the chromosome breaks in a particular way, you'll get muscular dystrophy or cystic fibrosis. And, like Down syndrome, it's baked into the cake. However, we have a number of people with muscular dystrophy who are doing quite well, thank you very much, with medical nutrition. It's a big thing that's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 years. We're really going to make a statement with muscular dystrophy because we have therapeutics that support and promote the body's ability to bounce back from that. Stick around, Lee. I want to talk to you more about this. We're up against a hard break. I'll be back after these messages. Hey, everybody. It's a waxing gibbous moon, full moon tomorrow night. Check it out. Valentine's Day into the bargain. How about that? We're talking to Lee in Utah about the difference between multiple sclerosis and muscular dystrophy. Hey, Lee, are you still with me?
I sure am. I couldn't give it up.
All right. So, that's the deal. Now, muscular dystrophy, depending on when you intervene with people with muscular dystrophy, if they've had muscular dystrophy for 40 years and they start a program, it's going to take quite a while for them to be able to bounce back in a noticeable way. But if they start, at 1 week old, it's going to be a remarkable difference. And we're starting to see this now with people in the muscular dystrophy community all around the world who are following our advice and developing noticeable, measurable, positive change. So, the game is afoot.
She probably is 50 or something like that.
Well, so, look, from our point of view, regardless of what the condition is, your body needs medical nutrition in order to optimize its structure and function. It needs it. You need to drink. You need to eat. You need to bathe. You need to, have the community or even yourself, if you're smart enough, eliminate your waste appropriately and filter your water appropriately so you're not drinking Giardia every day. Well, there's one more thing we need to do in order to survive on good old planet Earth. We need to give the body essential nutrients because they're not in the food chain. They're not. You could eat the most perfect vegetables and meat in the world and you'd still be nutritionally deficient unless you're supplementing. with vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. You're deficient, and it's only a matter of time until something breaks. Now, if you've got something bad, like muscular dystrophy or multiple sclerosis, and you're nutritionally deficient, you're in a world of hurt. So, sometimes people are able to get 10% better. Sometimes people are able to get 80% better. Sometimes people are able to get 100% better. We never know, and we don't make any false promises. But I do know that the human body, in order to function the way that God intended it, needs nutrients, and they're not in the food chain. So, everybody has to clean up their diet and nutrify their bodies appropriately. And when everybody does this, everybody feels better. You can't give the body its due, finally, for the first time in your life and have nothing positive happen. This is the only reason why we survive, Lee. This is an extremely hostile political climate for holistic medicine. It's extremely hostile. My profession is only licensed and regulated in 16 states in the United States, which means it's illegal for me to practice medicine in 36 states in the United States. And that's not right. That's just not right. And even though we exist in such a hostile political climate, my profession thrives. Longevity breaks sales records every month. They grew 300% in 2012, which is nuts considering the economy, or 2013. And why does this happen? Because it works. When people give their body its due, they feel better. And, that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So from our point of view, Lee, everybody needs medical nutrition. And everybody's different. And God only knows, and He's not telling anybody, whether that person is going to be able to come back 10%, 50%, 80%, who knows. But they're going to feel better, and their body is going to be better. And that's why we do what we do. So everybody, the recommendation for everybody is eliminate the 10 bad foods, take one healthy start pack, and 1 bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Do that for 90 days and tell us if you don't feel any better. Now, we've got extra stuff that we add in to support and promote the central nervous system function if there's a central nervous system problem. We've got extra stuff that we add on if we're trying to support bones and joints or the heart or the liver or the kidneys or whatever. But everything is based on a foundation medical nutrition fundamental boilerplate program, which is 1 healthy start pack and 1 bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's a really, really good place for everybody to start. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Does that make sense?
It sure does. The MS, you haven't had as much experience with, apparently. Well,
we have a number of people. I've treated patients in my private practice who have multiple sclerosis who didn't get any better, or maybe 10%. I've also run into people when I've been lecturing for longevity who are 100% over multiple sclerosis. I met one woman in Denver. She was a kickboxer. Currently, she's a kickboxer. She was competes in kickboxing tournaments around the world. I think she's in her late 30s, early 40s. When she was in her 20s, she was in a wheelchair with multiple sclerosis. And she fixed it with holistic medical treatments. So, I'm telling you, man, you don't know where the body's end point is. There is an end point. The MDs have no consideration for this because the MDs are not trained to heal the body. They're not. The MDs are trained to manage your symptoms with drugs. That's their directive. That's what they do. I mean, medical doctors, honestly, they don't really practice medicine. A medical doctor is like a pharmacist who knows how to diagnose things. That's what they are. They're not physicians. They're pharmacists who know drugs, and they also know how to diagnose things. They're not really any different than pharmacists because they're not involved with the practice of medicine. They're involved with the delivery of pharmaceuticals. And we're not against drugs, man. I can prescribe drugs. It's not the gun, it's how it's used. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. When MDs use drugs, most of the time, they mess it up. Well, and how do I know that? Because MD-directed medical treatments are the leading cause of death in the United States. You've got to be kidding me. It's not because they're malicious, malevolent people. It's because, we've taken the wrong dog to the hunt, man. They're the wrong dog for the hunt. And that's why we do this radio show. People need to snap out of it.
I just came into longevity from Go Foods, and one of the my downline in Go Foods was Dr. Stockwell. He's on the K-Talk radio.
Yeah.
And he's really been a gung-ho on Go Foods, but he's dragging his feet on longevity because he's been a standard brand doctor.
Yeah, so this is a problem, right? And this is a problem. And the reason is, this is an important thing to understand. If you went to China and talked to 1,000 people in China who were involved in the government, 1,000 political officials in China, from the most mundane clerk to the whatever it is, the emperor or the president or whatever the designation is of China, none of them would be able to tell you about voters' rights because they don't know anything about voters' rights. They don't vote in a communist regime. It's not in their philosophy. You could talk to 100 Buddhists or 100 born-again Christians, and they would never be able to tell you about reincarnation because they don't believe in it. It's not their thing, right? And I'm not arguing that reincarnation exists. I'm just saying that people's philosophical orientation informs what they do. The philosophical orientation of an MD is something referred to as reductionism, allopathic reductionism. Your medical doctor may be the nicest person in the world. They may be the smartest person in the world. But your medical doctor only knows, your MD only knows what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is only one small piece of the pie of medical science. But the culture that we've grown up in, because it's directed by the pharmaceutical industry, has convinced everybody in the world that the MD is the undisputed emperor of medicine and everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack. And nobody has drunk this Kool-Aid more than the MD. MDs actually believe, most of them, there are exceptions to prove the rule, but most MDs actually believe, unless they were taught it in medical school, it's just not valid. And that's a problem. And so, in longevity, we bring to the table science-based, clinically verified, science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery. Now, because medical doctors are supposed to be objective scientists, because medical doctors are supposed to be involved in the objective dissemination of medical thought, the appropriate question for a medical doctor to ask themselves about longevity is, well, son of a gun, I know that as an MD, I don't have anything for high blood pressure except symptom-suppressive medication. I know that as an MD, I don't have anything for arthritis except pain medication and then surgery. I see that you're a licensed, regulated physician. I see that you're involved in the practice of medicine, which is different than my practice of medicine. And you're telling me that you have therapeutics which support and promote healthy bones and joints. That's fascinating. I'd love to know more. That should be how MDs interface with us, but they don't. They say, you guys are quacks, go pound sand. And, that's a problem, right?
He's a Nuka chiropractor, and he's great as far as alternative is concerned, but he's hung up on standard brands. Now,
standard process nutritional supplements, yeah. So the thing about standard process is, the standard process is a vitamin company that they were really smart when they started, and the guy that Royal Lee, who was the founder of Standard Process Brands, he made a deal with chiropractic colleges. He gave chiropractic colleges money in return for having a monopoly on the education of chiropractors with nutrition. So when a chiropractor is in school, their thing isn't nutrition. Their thing is how to manipulate the bones in the body, and it's a wonderful thing. We love chiropractors. And the little bit of nutrition that they're taught is all standard process stuff. It's all standard process, 100%. So when a chiropractor graduates, and, now they've got student loans to pay off, and now they've got a practice to subsidize and to pay for, and they're busy building their practice, they don't have time to study objectively the landscape of medical nutrition. So they fall back on what they know. What they know is what they were taught. What they were taught is standard process 100% of the time. Now, standard process is good. Standard process is like, a Honda. It's a good automobile. Longevity is a Lamborghini. It is an entirely different class of automobile. It is not in the same category as a Honda. Longevity's nutritional supplements are in a completely different class than anything standard process brings to the table. And the reason is because of Dr. Wallach's research and Dr. Wallach's methodology and Dr. Wallach's recipes. Nutritional supplements are, like wine. All wine is made from grapes. All nutritional supplements, more or less, are made from the same stuff. But, there's a great deal of difference from bottle to bottle of wine. Well, there's a great deal of difference from nutritional supplement to nutritional supplement. What's the difference? The recipe is the difference. Longevity's recipes are formulated by $25 million of federally funded research and over 40 years of clinical experience by the man that literally wrote the book on medical nutrition, Dr. Wallach. That's why we get such remarkable results. Your chiropractor friend just needs to give us a try, and his eyes will be open too. Thanks for the call, Lee. You're the greatest. Good luck, and welcome to Longevity. Come in, Courtney. Hello, Courtney. Goodbye. Courtney, are you there? Boy, you just got it in time.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry about that. Yes, I wasn't aware that I was on the line.
Well, there you go, girl. How are you, and how can I help?
I'm doing well despite all of this winter weather we're having here in New Jersey. But fortunately, that put me in a place to be able to catch your show today. So it worked out for me. I am calling on behalf of my mom. I'm interested in trying to help her out. She's 65 years old, 5'2", 200 pounds, diagnosed casually with sarcoidosis in 1992. 1994, a health crisis, and because no one provided any information, but that's a whole other story about what it was.
I'm with you.
But she had a pacemaker defibrillator device installed in 1994 because the sarcoidosis affected her heart. And now her lungs are affected. She's been taking prednisone since 94. She's now taking methotrexate, but she has a normal blood pressure, normal cholesterol levels. She's been having recurrent venous ulcers and circulation issues. And now they are recommending a hip replacement. The first time they mentioned that was in 2011. And in addition to all of that, she's had chronic psoriasis that, as far as back as I can remember as a child. So that predated the sarcoidosis. And she has a slow progressing malignant tumor on her kidney. So she's got a lot of stuff going on. Currently sleeps on an oxygen machine, CPAP, and has this lymphatic thick sleeve thingy that's on this machine to kind of help with the circulation and the venous ulcer issues. So it's just a lot of stuff that has compounded over the years. And her doctors say, oh, well, you're doing great because you're still here after 94. I mean, since 94, you've had these issues. You've been taking this prednisone, which they acknowledge is bad on the body. And so I'm just wondering if any of the things that you've been talking about and that you stand for, and I so appreciate your perspective, by the way, but could the medical nutrition, I think that's what you call it, could this help her?
Absolutely. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Your mother's been in the weeds for a long time. Yeah. But guaranteed, if she gets on board with a medical nutrition program, she'll feel better, the quality of her life will improve, and with time she'll be able to reduce and eventually probably stop some of the meds that she's on. So there's never, ever a time not to use medical nutrition. I mean, that's like saying, what do you think, Dr. Glidden? Should I drink water? Well, yeah, I don't care what problem you have. You need to drink water, right? So medical nutrition is always necessary, useful, and beneficial, always 100% of the time. So because she's got so much stuff going on here, man, what's her current body weight?
She's about 200 pounds.
All right. So I would start her with the healthy. She must be in pain, right? In her hip,
yeah.
if they're recommending hip replacement. All right. So I would start with one healthy bone and joint pack. 3 bottles of selenium, and 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX. That's 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX. Mm-hmm. 3 bottles of selenium. It's called Ultimate Selenium when you look it up. And 1 healthy bone and joint pack. That's the original, not the 2.0, the healthy bone and joint pack. Plus, she has to stop eating the 10 bad foods. So do you. Mm-hmm. So do I. So does everybody. So she needs to dial that in. Now, you want to... How did you find out about my show? We've only got 50 seconds left here, so I got to be quick.
She saw Dr. Wallach and asked me if I'd ever heard of him. She saw him on a program, and then I looked up some information, and that's how I found you and your show. I was up.
Why, did she see him on Benny Hinn?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the number you want to call in order to get these products for her at the wholesale price. Call this number, 800-691-1730. 800-691-1730. Those are the people responsible for the Benny Hinn interview, and those are the people to get credit for this order. So call that number. Tell them that you just talked to Dr. Glidden, and he recommends your mom start with this. Give it a try. Give us a call back in about a month with a report. I will look forward to it. Thank you so much, Courtney. Let the games begin. We did it again, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for your time. Live long and prosper. Worldwide webinar tonight for insiders and their guests, 8 p.m. Central. God willing and the creek don't rise.